Hello, welcome to the Shaman Energy card readings for January 2025, and just clearing the energetic air for this month of new readings. Some people have been asking about shamanism and also indirectly about Reiki. Just to start off with, shamanism is a very ancient belief system. They found remains of shaman and cave paintings going back hundreds of thousands of years. There are famous cave paintings in France, and there's also been burials uncovered in Europe and in the Middle East. And I will provide some links or some comments to that in the show notes. But shamanism covers a lot of different cultures, mostly indigenous Ainu and Japanese Shinto, and it is an important part of Eskimo, Native American, and Celtic cultures. In Korea, shamanism is considered a folk religion that is distinct from Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. In Tibet, shamanism was eventually replaced by Buddhism in the 9th and 10th centuries, but it came into Tibet in the 7th and 8th centuries, and prior to that there were basically two types of shaman. A white shaman who dealt with and communicated with beneficial spirits, and black shaman who, as you probably guessed, communicated with negative, evil, and dark spirits. So if you wanted to have your crops and your livestock be well, grow well, and be productive, you would ask for a ceremony from a white shaman. If you, on the other hand, wanted to do something malicious and evil for a neighbor, you would go to a black shaman to cast a spell. And you've got the yin and the yang in that. When Buddhism came into Tibet in the 7th and 8th centuries and eventually became the dominant religion in the 9th and 10th centuries, the Buddhists, as you probably recognize, have saffron robes, and from those saffron robes came yellow shaman. When the Buddhists came into Tibet, they brought reading, writing, study, a monastic lifestyle. They built monasteries and worked with the local population, which brought them into connection with shaman. Shaman who adopted Buddhist teachings as well as continuing to practice shamanism became yellow shaman, and they would use Buddhist terminology, and even wear Buddhist clothing in the as they ministered to their tribes or their villages. Black shaman would not yield to this type of activity or change, and they were persecuted, and that's where we get white, yellow, and black shaman. The reason for bringing this up is that the founder of Reiki, Dr. Usui, studied in Tibet in various monasteries. He learned Sanskrit, and he would read the original Buddhist manuscripts, and from that we get Reiki, which he introduced into Japan in the late 19th century, and then after World War II, many characteristics of Japanese culture became part of modern Western culture, and that's where Reiki comes into play. And there are many different types of Reiki, and I follow the Usui Shaiki Ryo Tibetan Reiki, and of course Tibet, shamans, Buddhism, white shamans, black shamans, yellow shamans. That is where I get my connection, and that is what I'm attuned to, is ultimately a form of Tibetan shamanism. So let's get on and look at the card readings for the first month of January 20. Hello and welcome to the Shaman Energy card reading for the week starting May the 12th, 2025. I have shuffled the cards, and somebody was asking why the different emphasis on when I'm acknowledging the 4 points of the cardinal points of the compass, why some I hit harder and I get a much deeper ring, and others, as I just demonstrated, I hardly touch the bowl, producing very little sound. The reason is that is simply what I'm guided to acknowledge. There are some points of the compass which are more important than others on particular readings, and that's all you're hearing. Today, this week, I just hit the singing bowl once. Last week, I hit each cardinal point twice. It was the start of the month. It was the first reading of the month, so there was a little bit more emphasis calling in the beneficial spirits from north, south, east, and west. And just as another point, I'm a white shaman. That's not the color of my skin. It's but white shaman are involved with and call on beneficial helping spirits. Black shaman call on malevolent spirits. So the helping the white shaman will, in the past, would be called on to help crops grow, animals be abundant with offspring, and relationships, marriages, and so forth go well. The black shaman would be called upon to cast spells, do malevolent things, hope that somebody had an accident or died, animals were not abundant with offspring, and that crops failed. So that is the difference between a white shaman and a black shaman. My shaman heritage is more from Tibet, and prior to Tibet becoming part of China, Buddhism was the dominant religion in Tibet, and you'll see references to yellow shaman, and basically these are white shaman who have adopted Buddhism, Buddhist practices, and Buddhist thoughts and deeds in their shaman practices, and very often they would become Buddhist monks as well. So just a little bit of history there. Woodwives, adaptability, is the first card that we've come out with. Following on from last week, the week of May the 5th, when we were talking about abundance, hopes, dreams, and wishes, we're looking at adaptability here. And as I mentioned, you may have to, if you've got a vision board with something on it that has a particular style, form, or particular look, my message then was to be accepting of whatever you receive that is different from what is on the vision board. Maybe you like brunettes, and the person standing in front of you has very fair hair or is a true blonde. Be acceptable, be adaptable, and being adaptable pays dividends in that you take what is given or you receive, and you make the best of it, and very often that can be better than what you had originally hoped or planned within the limit of your scope. And that is part of the recognition of the difference between spirit and the universe, and what that gives you, it gives you what you need, not what you want. And you have to be adaptable to accept that. And then we look on to dances on the foot. And dances on one foot, the balancing act. If you've got to be adaptable, then also it may need for you to be dancing on one foot, balancing a balancing act. What you've been given may not be what you want or designed or hoped for, but it's what you need. And balancing on that and being creative and being thoughtful and working with what you have is part of the balance of being adaptable. Adaptability is balance. Balance is being adaptable. Don't refuse anything. A Buddhist mantra is not to reject anything that you're given. You can always pass what you're given on to someone else if you don't want it or you don't need it. But never say no, because that sends a message to the universe, to spirit, that you're that what it gives you is not going to be received or received well, and you don't want that. You always want to be able to receive and say thank you, and accept the blessing from a spirit. And then if it's not exactly what you want, or you can pass it on. So be prepared to be adaptable and balance your hopes, dreams, and wishes against what is received. So we're continuing the same theme, and I think it's a very good theme to start off the second week of May with. So have a good day and a good week. Take care. So that's a great card reading for the day. Have a great day. Take care. Bye for now.